Good morning, all. It's another day, another dollar. Well, here we go for the morning. It's Monday again. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, and sharing. This week, I'm going to Scotland. Who parks a van there? Idiots. Of all the places to park. Right, so I'm off to East Kilbride this morning. I've got a transit load from the depot in Ellesmere Port, and it is going to Glasgow. So we're going to drop it in Glasgow, then we're going to go around the corner somewhere, pick up a return load from Manchester, a waste, I believe, for Carrington. So, yes, back to our cardboard waste. Yay! Anyway, with this morning's run, where are we? We are going to be doing M53 from Ellesmere Port down to the M56, the one junction. M56 to M6, several junctions. M6 all the way up past Carlisle, up that way, over Shap, and dropping onto the A74M, or the M74 as it transpires into, then up to the M8 and into Glasgow. That is our run. It is around about 230 miles. It's about 4.5 hours driving, so we won't get there before we have to have a break. That's fine, don't mind that. We're all fueled up, we're all ready to rock and rumble, so we'll get going. Yeah, let's do this. Well, here we are on my favourite piece of motorway in the UK. I love this section up through here. It's just stunning. Stopped off in Lancaster Services a little while ago for a 15-minute break. Collected a coffee, which is there. Yum. And we are now heading on up, just sort of going past the turning for Borough and Applebury and the, Junction 38 truck stop, which is a really good truck stop to stop in if you're ever coming this way. So we've got about 2.5 hours left to run to get up to Glasgow. We've done about 2.5 hours on my tacho card already this morning, so what we'll have to do is stop before we get there. Now, I know a lot of people like to run as close to their 4.5 as they can get before they stop, but actually I like to run to about 4 hours, and then I'll stop and have either my 45, or in this case it'll be a 30, because what happens is when you get to your 8 hours at the end of the day, you know you've got an hour left, which allows you to really micromanage where you're going to park up for that night. So for me personally, I always try and run 4-hour slots, and then that gives me a final hour at the end of the day if I need it. Quite often, because of delays in loads and loading, that kind of stuff, it means I don't get to my 8 hours driving because my toes are cold. I'm just going to turn my heating on a bit. Yeah, I don't get to my 4.5 hours or my 9 hours drive or my 10 hours drive very often because the loads are delayed or I'm held waiting to get loaded or tipped or that kind of stuff. But today I'll probably run. I don't know if I'll run into a 10, I might do. Fair old distance to go, and I'm not really going to have any time waiting around up the top, so yeah, it should be good. So working time wise, nice and chilled out day. Drive time, yeah, on it. Just on it. I do love this area. There's something beautiful and majestic about Moorland to me. I don't know why. I'm just drawn to it. Try and get out in daylight hours if I can. It's quite difficult to get out and film the walks at this time of year, because generally on the whole when I've finished it's dark and then I start in the dark. So, but unlike a lot of offices, at least I get to see the daylight. In a previous existence I used to work in an office, and I get to the office pre-dawn, and then by the time I left the office again it was dark again, so I'd sometimes go a whole week without seeing daylight unless I looked out the window, and 9 times out of 10 I was too busy to do that. So yeah, anyway, you might notice, I don't know if you can tell from the cameras or not, but I'm not slowing down on the hills. There's a very good reason for that. I'm light loaded, so I've got cardboard products on today, which means that there's 0 weight on board. It'll be a different story on the way back, but with no weight on board, the truck doesn't slow down the hills. I haven't even dropped my axle, so it shows you how light I am. My tag axle, or rather lift axle. Yeah, I haven't dropped that down, so we're mooching up the hills on the limiter, happy as Larry, going along, just enjoying the scenery. So what did my weekend entail? My weekend this weekend was a bit unusual for me, because I was at home most of the weekend. Had the truck at home. We did some modifications. So we've got some new LEDs on the front. I've got some LED strips which are great, but they're a little bit on the bright side, so I've got to get a limiter in. Limiter? What am I talking about? A limiter? A dimmer in for those, because they're too bright on the front. We've got some normal little ones as well, so yeah, it should look a bit different. So here's a few bits, and those of you who are eagle-eyed will notice that the curtains are different. So yeah, so I had a weekend of doing wiring and curtains and sorting bits and pieces out in the truck. At the same time I had the children with me, which is always good. So I have twins. For those of you who don't know, my 2 little angels, or rat bags, depending on what they're up to. We had great fun this weekend, just messing about, and they really enjoyed having Jack there as well. So that allowed us to have a bit of fun and laughter and giggles, playing with the dog. And then my boy Seb, he loves getting involved when I'm doing stuff with the truck. He thoroughly enjoys it, and he was helping me with wiring by passing tools and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I feel pretty lucky, to be honest. My daughter Erin, not so much, although she does like coming in the truck. As you can imagine, all small people like travelling in the truck. They find it fun, and it's different for them, obviously, higher up. Yeah, so occasionally up at the child seat in the passenger seat, and one of them comes with me. Although Seb is now big enough, I cannot believe it, at 8, to be without a child seat. It's incredible. Can't believe how quick they grow up. But it is what it is. Yeah. Oh, I just love this area. So coming up Shap now. Yeah. I'm surprised how warm it is, actually. It's nearly 7 degrees out there. A little bit different. I was hoping to see some snow, but no such joy. Don't think we're due snow for a while either. Should we ask Alexa? Let's see what Alexa says. Oh dear. Alexa says no. Oh dear. No, Alexa's not working today. She's on strike. So we're coming up Shap now, as you can see. Really love this area. It's so beautiful. Some amazing, gorgeous. There you go. Shap Summit, 10,036 feet. Beautiful. Moorland as far as the eye can see. Absolutely love it. One of these days I want to stop up here and have a night out so I can do one of the walks from this area. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do that at some stage. No guarantees, as with everything. You never know where you're going to end up stopping. But hopefully we should be able to get a nice stop in somewhere tonight. Bit sad there's no snow, to be honest. I do like snow, even though it's cold and wet. I do like it. It's one of my attractions. I'm very jealous of the other half having been off skiing. The other half's come back from skiing. She really enjoyed herself out in Italy. So that's good news. Now, we are 30 miles from Carlisle. So, we're enjoying this run. Misty over on the hills. One of my holidays each year is to Skye. A bit of a love that area. Lots of walking, lots of climbing, good food. One of the highlights of going to Skye is being able to have lobster, fresh lobster. Oh, it's beautiful. Do order it before we go up, but it's definitely a worthwhile, and obviously the walking up there is beautiful as well. Get some of the most amazing views as we're out and about. So hopefully this year we'll be able to do the same. Going up, I think it's May time we're going up. April, May time. So a couple of trips planned so far. So we've got Prague to go to in April, which is a trip that we've been trying to do for the last 6-8 months. Each time we've booked so far, we've not been able to get there due to various situations, mainly the virus causing problems. So, this week's interesting topic, not the virus. Right, when are we going to get on with life? I'm personally, and these are my personal opinions, nothing to do with anyone else, I don't believe that we're ever going to get rid of this virus. Or not with the technology we've got at the moment. It mutates too quickly. However, our immune system does seem to deal with it quite well. I know there's people out there who've got really ill from it, but some people who unfortunately haven't made it, and God rest their souls, I do feel for them. And I feel for the families as well. But I am sort of slightly of the opinion that we're at the stage now in life where we just need to get on with it. Get back to some semblance of normality, whatever that's going to be. You know, lift all these restrictions. We're not going to stop it spreading. We're not going to stop it. And I don't think we can control it. We just got to let it go and let the immunity of the populace deal with it. I think that's the answer.
Hi guys, well guess what? I made it to Annandale services on the M74. I've got about an hour and a quarter left to run, about 60 miles. But it's obviously time for me to have a break, and it's also an opportunity for me to have a sort out in the cab, because the cab, let's be fair about it, at the moment, like a bomb's gone off. It's always a bit like this on a Monday morning when you get into the truck. So I'm going to have a sort out, get my bunk tied, squared away, bunk made, give the floor a wipe down, give the surfaces a wipe down, and we'll go from there. So yeah, that's my break for today.
guess what? We are on our way into Southampton. Started at 2:30 this morning, left the yard, drove up to Ellesmere Port, collected a load for the Isle of Wight. So we're not a million miles away from Southampton now. We're about 15 minutes from the docks. We are going to have to stop because I'm going to get there too early otherwise, and I'll only be turned away. And as there's not really anywhere to park around there, it's a bit of a pain in the backside. We've only got about a 25-minute wait, but we'd just be a little bit too early. So this is always fun anyway. It's a bit different because we will be going over the ferry. So you get to see all of that. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. The Isle of Wight's interesting to drive around as well in a truck this size. So the 15.9 trailer on the back, which in England isn't too high, but when you start going into the Isle of Wight, it's a bit on the high side. So yeah, we just have to kind of sort of slightly take it with a pinch of salt, really. Now, where's he going? He's going around. Okay, so we'll go down here somewhere. We're only going to pull in for 20 minutes, as I said. Let the time tick through, and then we'll head on down. We're 6.5 miles away from the terminal, so get parked in here, and then we'll head back. Oh, there we go. Parking my bay. That'll do me nicely there. Right, so yeah, and do a few bits and pieces, tidying up and what have you, and then we'll get on the way down there. So catch you in a minute. Well, here we go. Just getting off the ferry now. I head round, go and get sorted out, go and get tipped and get back. So, aim to be back for the 3 PM ferry back across. So yeah, it's interesting driving around the island. It's pretty tight and narrow, to be fair, but we'll see. We'll see. Might be easier today. Anyone's guess. But it is a beautiful day. It was a beautiful sailing over. Absolutely stunning on the water today. One of those days that you absolutely love. But, yeah, can't complain. My furry friend's enjoying himself. He's been asleep in the cab all the time. He was quite happy to stay here. He didn't want to come out. So yes, but hopefully we'll get tipped in short order, and then we'll get back, and that'll give us enough time to chill out and maybe go for a little wander. We'll see. Depends. So yeah. Anyway, right, here we go. Let's make our way through the island. Death wish. Right, here we go. Let's boogie. So this run around here it's only about 6-7 miles, but it does actually take about 20 minutes because the roads are so tight and narrow and just a bit rubbish for Arctics. But, you'll see that as we go. If we're lucky, we might get a clear run through. Anything is possible. Right now, I think I'll just give you an external view. What do you reckon? Yeah. All right, I'll see you in a bit.